Stay alert. You're about to witness history unfold in real time. While most people drift through the final days of June as if it's just another quiet passage into July, something far deeper is stirring beneath the surface. They won't see it coming. But if your instincts have been tingling, you're not imagining things. This isn't just the end of a month. The truth is, these last few days may hold more significance than everything that came before them, not because of what's obvious, but because of what's hidden. Something is shifting quietly and powerfully. Pay attention. But not everything that shines is meant to stay, and if something suddenly shows up in your life in the next few days, an offer, an opportunity, or even a person, keep watching, because there's one specific reason why you must not trust it right away. I will explain why later, so stick around, because it's not random. Has anything recently come up that felt a little too good to be true? Feel free to leave a comment below. You can even add 444 along with your comment if you're looking forward to the end of this month. And while most people will be distracted by surface noise this week, there's one thing almost no one will notice. But you will. And it all starts with the solstice. Today isn't just the solstice, it's a spiritual pivot point. An invisible doorway just creaked open, and not everyone will realize they've walked through it. Because this isn't about sunlight or seasons, it's about pressure, energetic pressure. Like a massive lock just clicked open somewhere else, and a strange hum is now leaking into this world. You might feel restless for no reason, or emotional even if everything seems fine. Some people describe it like hearing a sound that isn't there or feeling watched even when you're alone. It's subtle but powerful. And for a few of you, it's like being handed a key you never asked for, one that could unlock parts of your life you've never explored or parts of yourself you forgot existed. But be careful, because once a door opens, you can't always close it again. And just a few days from now, that key might suddenly turn. Luck won't chase you this week. You'll have to grab it by the throat. The last days of June have a strange reputation, the kind that doesn't show up in astrology books, but that people whisper about anyway. Some call it the luck window, a 9-day vortex from the solstice to the month's edge, June 21st to June 30th, where fate doesn't just knock, it shoves. But here's what they don't tell you. Luck this week won't look like good fortune. It might look like a mistake, a cancellation, a closed door, even something or someone walking out of your life. But underneath that misstep is movement, and only those who keep going will get to see what was really offered. You may get a strange message this week, or an opportunity that seems beneath you, or a conversation that goes completely off script. Pay attention. These won't look like lucky moments until later, but they are tests. And passing them means showing up boldly when you're tempted to shrink. This is not the week to play it safe. It's the week where safe equals stuck. And this isn't just random chaos. The energies in this final week push you out of predictable lanes. They shake loose the dust and force you to pick a path, even if you can't see the ending. That's part of the deal. It's all designed to ask you one question. Will you act before it makes sense? Or will you wait until you've missed it? Because luck this week has no patience. It won't coddle you, but it will reward you if you can recognize it in disguise. On June 25th, the sky will go dark. The moon disappears. But it's not just the stars that go missing. It's something deeper, something in you. This isn't the kind of new moon that whispers clarity or fresh goals. It's the kind that steals the map and leaves you standing in your own thoughts, unsure of which ones are even real. For a few days, your reflection, your sense of identity, your emotional why may begin to dissolve, not completely, but just enough that you'll feel like you're watching yourself instead of being yourself. It's not confusion, it's a temporary void of self-definition. You might catch yourself reacting in ways that don't make sense, saying things that feel strangely detached, feeling emotions that aren't connected to any real cause. That's not you losing touch. That's the moon removing the mirror. It's what happens when the usual identity scripts pause and something more core starts to come through. It's designed to interrupt the patterns that keep your ego glued together, the roles, the stories, the names you call yourself in your head. This isn't a punishment, it's a cleansing. You are not supposed to feel polished during this time. You're supposed to feel empty enough to be real. And in that emptiness, there's potential for something that isn't based on image or narrative or even ambition. There's potential for something that isn't based on image or narrative or even ambition. There's potential for presence, raw and quiet and hard to look at. So if you feel weirdly detached, off rhythm, or unlike yourself, good. That's the point. Because your reflection will return, but what comes back might not look quite the same. Sometimes the brightest blessing has to vanish, so you remember what you are without it. June 24th marks a rare moment most people will never even notice, and yet its energy is impossible to ignore. Jupiter, the giant of our solar system, disappears behind the Sun in what's known as a solar conjunction. It's not just astronomy, it's cosmic stagecraft. The planet of expansion, abundance, confidence and possibility goes dark. The most dominant frequency of optimism vanishes, and something gets quiet inside of us. You may not notice the shift at first. It's subtle, but then the brightness you usually lean on, that inner belief that things will work out, that push to keep climbing, it starts to dim. It's not hopelessness, it's emptiness. The echo after a loud song stops playing. Because when Jupiter leaves the stage, something strange happens. Other, quieter voices in your spirit finally get a chance to speak. This isn't about losing hope, it's about learning to trust something that isn't loud. This week, don't expect the usual signs. Don't wait for big green lights or obvious encouragement. Jupiter's absence is a cosmic filter. The big, flashy motivators are muted, so you have to go inward to find your real reasons, the ones that aren't dressed up in fireworks, the ones that feel quiet but unshakable. People might feel their usual boldness flicker. Plans might feel uncertain. Confidence might crack for no reason. But don't mistake that for regression. What's happening isn't collapse. It's a recalibration of power. When the planet of luck and abundance hides, it's not taking those gifts away. It's inviting you to discover how much of that abundance was already inside you. Even without external momentum, even without a clear path, true faith is what survives after the spotlight goes out. This moment is also deeply personal for those who are used to charging forward. If you're someone who leans on momentum, recognition, success, or even spiritual reassurance to feel safe, you might feel off balance. But instead of chasing clarity, this is the week to walk blindfolded and still move forward. You don't need Jupiter's golden trumpet right now. You need your own heartbeat. And it's been waiting for this silence to finally be heard. Just because the fire is hidden doesn't mean it isn't burning hotter. On June the 30th, Mars, the planet of drive, raw instinct, and unfiltered action, will disappear behind the Moon in a rare occultation. It's a symbolic eclipse of impulse, desire, and fight. And when the Moon covers Mars, something shifts deep inside the emotional body. Normally, Mars is about action. It shouts, it leaps, it pushes. But this time, its heat doesn't vanish, it simply gets buried. And that's what makes this so powerful. Because when fire doesn't have a place to move, it doesn't die, it concentrates. This is where anger gets quiet, where ambition retreats, where motivation isn't gone, it's coiling beneath the surface. Watch the people who stay silent this week. They're the ones carrying fire in their teeth. You might feel strange emotional contradictions. One moment, a rush of motivation, and then nothing. A brilliant idea that fizzles before you can act. A sudden urge to confront something, followed by an overwhelming sense of, what's the point? That's Mars trapped beneath the Moon, emotion cloaking instinct. And it's not a mistake, it's a rerouting. This moment isn't about wild leaps or dramatic action, it's about internal strategy. This is the fire that doesn't explode. It plots, it waits, it builds behind closed doors. You may notice people around you withdrawing more than usual, not out of fear, but calculation. The quiet ones are not checked out, they're charging. And if you feel yourself withdrawing emotionally or delaying action you thought was urgent, pause. That delay might be the most strategic move you make all month. This is a power shift that happens behind the veil. Deals may be made silently, decisions forged in solitude. Don't expect big moves, expect intentions setting in stone, quietly and deeply beneath the surface. And if something in you feels ready to erupt but doesn't, don't force it. This is not suppression, it's refinement. The fire is still there, but this week it burns behind the moon, and that makes it even more dangerous, even more sacred, even more yours. There's something falling toward you right now, and it was never supposed to arrive. June 27th brings the peak of the June Bootids, a meteor shower that refuses to obey the rules. Some years it's silent. Other years it rains with unexpected flashes, as if the cosmos decided last minute to send a message. Scientists can't predict it, and that's what makes it important. This is not about spectacle, it's about disruption, cosmic interference, a brief tear in the fabric of normal. If you're looking straight ahead, you won't see it. These sparks are angled to hit the edges of your awareness. Thoughts that feel like whispers, symbols that arrive at the wrong time, signs you weren't supposed to catch, but do. This is the week of side glances from the universe, of dream fragments that feel too vivid to ignore, of tiny synchronicities that target your memory, but you can't place why. That's not coincidence, that's the Bootid effect, a signal hidden inside the irregular, the forgotten, the almost missed. The most important signs never look important when they arrive. That's how they stay hidden until the right person sees them. You might feel a pull to revisit something that seemed closed, not because it's unfinished, but because it's transforming. You might get a text from someone you were just thinking about, or stumble across a phrase that cracks open a problem you've been turning over for months. None of it will seem loud until it echoes. And that's the deeper truth here. This final week of June isn't gifting us clarity. It's gifting us possibility hidden inside the unlikely. The Bootids are proof. This meteor shower isn't consistent, and it isn't regular, but sometimes, without warning, it shows up with more fire than all the others. This week, watch the quiet spaces, the ideas you dismiss, the things that seem like nothing. One of them isn't. What if the universe's final message this month doesn't shout? What if it just flickers? There's always a breaking point. But what they never told you is, it's where the door begins. As this strange, dense, electrically silent month closes, there will come a moment. And for many, it won't feel cosmic at all. It'll feel human, raw, bone-tired, late at night or early morning, in the middle of something ordinary, where the world feels muted and nothing seems to click. It's in that moment, almost invisible, that the threshold appears. You might feel like deleting everything, throwing out your plans, walking away from the things you were so passionate about just days before. You'll feel like nothing is moving, and worse, that you don't even care anymore. But listen carefully. That feeling is not real. It's a signal, a release valve. It's your energy clearing the last of what can't come with you. Most people quit 5 minutes before the miracle. Be the one who doesn't. This is a spiritual pressure point, a psychic cramp. The moment before transformation that feels like defeat, not because you're failing, but because the old shape of your identity can no longer contain what's coming. Right before a seed cracks open, it looks like it's falling apart. Right before the sun rises, the temperature drops. Right before the breakthrough, your soul will test your faith in silence. So when you feel the pull to retreat, sit. When you feel the urge to burn it all down, breathe. Don't rush to reframe it. Don't chase a sign. Don't perform strength. Just stay. Let it pass through you, because that silence you're about to collapse into, it's not emptiness, it's space being made. And here's the twist. If you hold that space without asking for proof, something will come in. Not immediately, not when you demand it. But once the old expectation has fully left your body, the new path will walk in on its own. You won't get the sign before, you'll get it because you stayed without it. This isn't the end of the month. It's the last breath before the inhale, the stillness before the turn. And if you can stay present even when everything feels like it's collapsing, you'll catch the exact moment it flips. Not because you chase the light, but because you were willing to wait in the dark until it found you. Something you've always believed is about to flicker, and it won't be an error. It'll be a reveal. June 29th brings the quiet but seismic meeting of two cosmic titans, Saturn and Neptune. Don't get lost in charts or terms. Let's speak plainly. This is reality coming face to face with illusion. And when those two energies merge, something strange happens. The world doesn't shatter, but it tilts just enough to notice that the edges of things aren't where you thought they were. And this isn't metaphorical woo. It's the actual experience of looking at something familiar, your job, your relationship, your own thoughts, and realizing there's a layer beneath it you never noticed before. Not because it wasn't there, but because you weren't supposed to see it until now. Clarity isn't always a lightning bolt. Sometimes it's a crack in the surface that won't stop growing. This week, expect strange moments of déjà vu that don't resolve. Conversations that loop back to a sentence that wasn't supposed to be important. You might hear a phrase that hits you harder than it should, or start noticing numbers, names, and little patterns that seem to track you, uninvited. It won't make sense, and that's the point. You're not going crazy. You're being shown something, but it's coded, fragmented, like finding torn pages of a book you didn't know you were reading. The reality you've been living in isn't false, but it's incomplete. Neptune shows you the fog. Saturn shows you the flaw beneath it. Together, they show you the blueprint behind the curtain. This is the moment the spell begins to thin. Not everyone will notice. Most will brush it off, blame tiredness, a weird dream, or just a coincidence. But if you're watching closely, you'll realize some of what you called confusion was actually clarity you weren't ready for. If you're seeing patterns, you're not crazy. You're ahead. Don't try to decode it all. Just let it happen. The important part isn't solving the riddle. It's noticing it's a riddle to begin with. That's the moment your inner axis shifts. And once you see the fracture, it's impossible to unsee it. Anything that comes too fast this week is probably wearing a mask. Remember earlier when I said you might receive something that looks like luck, but feels a little too shiny? This is that moment. This week is littered with glittering distractions, opportunities, ideas, even people that seem like exactly what you've been waiting for. But look closer. The speed is the giveaway. They'll arrive urgently, pressing, convenient, even perfect. And that's the trap. This week, the universe is testing your ability to pause before grabbing the glitter. A shortcut will appear. Maybe it's a job that falls into your lap, a message from someone who ghosted you, an offer that claims to fast-track your healing, success, happiness. It'll sound right, but it'll feel thin, hollow at the edges. If you leap too fast, you'll find yourself in a loop, not a punishment, a repeat. The exact lesson you thought you finished, dressed in new clothes. Ask yourself, is this really new or just faster? This week is about contrast. The things that are real will move slowly. They'll challenge your patience. They won't give you a dopamine hit, but they'll plant something inside you that grows. The fake things, they'll rush in, dazzle, then fade. Trust what moves like a root, not like a spark. The universe is watching what you choose when you're tired, when you're desperate, when you're tempted to grab the first thing that looks like a solution. And here's the twist. If you wait, if you stay with the discomfort just a little longer, the real opportunity will rise from a place you didn't expect. It won't chase you, it won't scream, but it'll last. This week isn't asking you to be passive, it's asking you to be precise. Say no to what feels rushed, even if it looks golden, because the real gold moves like it's heavy, because it is. And you're not here for shiny scraps, you're here for what's meant. The solstice isn't just a seasonal shift, it's a pivot in the spine of the year. On June the 21st, the light froze for a breath. The sun held its longest note. And in that pause, something permanent happened. One energetic cycle ended, fully, not symbolically, not gradually. The universe sealed it. What does that mean for you? It means the exit has locked behind you. Whatever route you took to get here, it won't take you forward. The version of you who made past decisions, who made do, who tolerated, who doubted, is not equipped for what comes next. That identity just got archived. It's over. And now comes the test. This isn't a new beginning, it's a sacred checkpoint. A fork that only appears when time is ready to bend. You are in the in-between, the strange territory just after an invisible gate closes and just before the new reality fully downloads into place. Most people won't notice. They'll feel restless or tired or suddenly confused about things they were sure of just last week. They'll think it's just a mood. But you'll feel the shift. Because everything that happens in this final week of June is under a different law. The rules are bending. Time feels slippery. You might forget what day it is. You might feel pulled to things with no clear reason. Places, memories, people, visions. You might catch yourself hesitating before making a decision you would have once made without thinking. That's not hesitation, that's calibration. The version of you that's arriving doesn't trust the old instincts, and that's not a loss. It's your soul demanding better. This is a test of resonance, of patience, of quiet knowing. You're not being asked to force anything, you're being asked to listen like your future depends on it. Because it does. The solstice shut one door so the next horizon could appear. But it's not immediate. It's veiled. It moves when you move. It sharpens as you act from a deeper place, not an impulsive one. That's the challenge of this week. To navigate without the map you used to rely on. The feelings are different. The signals are subtler now. What once sparked your soul might now feel dull. And what you once overlooked suddenly glows with urgency. This isn't by chance. It's the upgrade in motion. But only if you resist the pull of old patterns. You're not lost. You're simply standing at the threshold where the old world no longer fits, and the new one hasn't yet spoken your name. You're not behind. You're exactly where the hidden road begins to unfold. If you're still here, thank you for being present. If this message resonated, consider subscribing. It means a lot and helps us keep going. Feel free to share your reflections in the comments. Until next time, stay aware, stay grounded, and subscribe for more soul-deep insights.